Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 390th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. As most of you will know, I just usually put a battle on a Saturday morning, but today I'm going to do a Wednesday bonus battle. As you know, I've put a couple of battles on from the 2v2 31k tournament that's been going on RTW, and this battle is from that tournament. Just say that there's a couple of RTW players spectating this battle, and as I say, this is one of the battles from the tournament. Okay, the first team consists of Brotherhood member Mad King, who has bought the Rome Brutii faction, and I think he's got so look there, 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, so he's bought 14 infantry, 6 cavalry, which is kind of the bog standard 31k Roman army. Look at the upgrades on his cavalry. Okay, you can see he's got 6 upgrades, just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. As I say, that's the bog standard 31k Roman army. Pretty effective, pretty efficient there. Yep, just 6 upgrades on his cavalry there. Okay, and his teammate is Brotherhood member Trajan, who has bought the Rome Julio faction. Now you see Trajan's got, let's have a look, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's just got 11 infantry and 3 archers. Okay, 11 infantry and 3 archers. Let's say this is the second battle that these two have fought the same players as what was in the last battle. Okay, so this is battle 2. You can see that he's got 11 infantry, 3 archers and 6 cavalry. Have a quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. Okay, I can see he's got 8 upgrades. Okay, so he's got 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now we know Praetorian cavalry are elite in their own right anyway, but you put 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on them, and that kind of makes them super elite. I mean, they do really good with just gold shield, gold attack on. So by putting those 2 experience stripes on, I think that really makes a difference to this this elite cavalry. As I say, I believe this is the second battle that these two are in this tournament against the same players. Okay, at this stage of the battle, we just have a look at the 2 players that are spectating. You've got RTW player PAGLIA, who is organising the tournament, and IOW SRAX. That's the 2 players that's actually spectating this battle. Okay, and the first teammate of this particular team is Graben, I believe. So I've been told Graben is Zwede. Zwede, if you know. You might know him better by Zwede, but it is actually called himself Graben in this game. As you can see here, he's got 10 infantry. Okay, so we've got 10 infantry there and 6 cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades of his infantry. I see it's just gold shield, gold attack. As I say, he's got 6 cavalry. Have a quick look at the upgrades of his cavalry. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he's got 7 upgrades. He's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry there. Okay, so that's 10 infantry, 6 cavalry. And I believe he's got 4 archers, I think. Yeah, he's got 4 archers there as well. Okay, so that's a pretty balanced 31k 2v2 army there. Be interesting to see how well it does. And his next teammate is Prince Koa, who I understand is Koala. Some of you may know him as Koala, but he's called himself Prince KO in this particular battle. As you can see there, he has got 14 infantry and 6 cavalry there. I think it's 14 infantry, 6 cavalry. And the upgrades on his cavalry are 7 upgrades. So he's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry there. Okay, so that's the other team. It looks pretty good to me. It should be a great battle to watch. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, you can see that both teams are kind of squaring up to each other here. As I say, it's this very, very early stage of the battle. And it looks like there's an archer fight going on at the moment here between the Scipii archers and the Julii archers here. As I say, in a lot of 31k battles now, there seems to be a bit of an archer battle now before the kind of main battle starts there, and that's what's happening there. You can see that Scipii cavalry moving out there, probably with a view to look at maybe taking out these archers here if it gets a chance. But I'm sure that the Brutii and Julii cavalry will be watching that. There you can see the Scipii cavalry coming across there. Try and look to take out those archers. But you can see that the Julii and Brutii cavalry are coming across there. And there you can see the Scipii infantry moving across as well. Looking to do a right flanking action here. You see that Brutii cavalry was just about thinking about charging in there at that stage. You can see the archer shooting into the flank of those Scipii troops there. Okay, so at the moment there's still a little bit of skirmishing going on, a little bit of archer fire going on at the moment, but I think they're just getting ready to kind of really get into the battle here. You can see them still, this Scipii units here, still moving around to the right, looking to do a right flanking action there. Okay, so we're going to get into the action now. Let's get to normal speed. So as you can see now, the Julii general there is taking his infantry over there on a right flanking action there against the enemy SBQR troops there. As I say, those Scipii archers will be shooting into them all the time. There's some pilot exchanging going on here between the two pilot shield units. You can see here the Julii general was just about thinking about hitting those Scipii archers there, but decided to pull back after seeing the Scipii cavalry starting to come towards him there. So that was a nice tactical withdrawal there by the Julii general. Okay, meanwhile over here on the, if you like, on the left flank here, you can see that there's a lot of pilot exchanging going on here. You can see it's almost raining pilots with the amount of pilots that the Brutii and Scipii generals here are throwing into each other, causing a lot of casualties there in their pilot shield units. You can see the Brutii general's got a couple of units, I think, attacking the Scipii general there. You can see that Scipii cavalry charging into the side, into the flank of that one Brutii unit there. And you can see that the Brutii general here has forced some of his units forward to attack the forward units of those of that Scipii army there. There's still a lot of pilot exchanging going on here. You can see it's like almost like, when you look at it from there, as I say, it's like almost like raining pilots here. You can see all those pilots being thrown by both teams, causing massive casualties to both teams here. See that Julii cavalry trying to bang! Is that Julii cavalry very aggressive there by the Julii general there. See that Scipii cavalry just coming into attack. Probably that Scipii general is going to pull that cavalry back there because he saw that Brutii cavalry locked and loaded, ready to charge in there. A nice tactical withdrawal there by the Scipii general, because I think that Brutii cavalry would have smashed in there along with the Julii cavalry there and may have routed his cavalry. Okay, you can see here that there's a lot of aggression here by the Brutii general, really attacking the enemy Scipii troops in front of him here, really pushing that attack in there. But as I say, there's a lot of Scipii and SBQR cavalry at the back there, ready to charge in when ready. See this one Julii cavalry unit there, nice aggressive use there, charging into one of the Scipii units there. I say this seems to be a very, it's going to be seem to me to be a very aggressive attritional game. The last battle we watched was spread out, very tactical and strategic. This strikes me as a very attritional battle here, and the one that withstands the attrition the most, I think, will go on to win. But that's what it looks like to me, a slogging attritional battle here, rather than a tactical and strategic one like it was the last one we watched. See that Brutii cavalry charging into that Scipii units, and bang as it charges in there into those engaged Scipii units. So once again, aggression there by the Brutii general, but you can see the SBQR and Scipii cavalry looking to counter-attack, and bang as they smash into those Brutii cavalry. Okay, you can see the Julii cavalry now charging in. Bang as that Julii cavalry smashes into that Scipii and SBQR cavalry. Oh my gosh, it's like and there's a Brutii cavalry coming in from the top. Bang as they smash in there as well, and some more Scipii cavalry charging. Okay, so at this stage of the battle, I think every cavalry unit in the game now is actually fighting in this one clump on the battlefield. Now this could prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle here. Whoever wins in this particular part of the battlefield here, I think could win, go on to win the battle. Because make no mistake here, that is, I think every cavalry unit is engaged. Can you see both sides are throwing reinforcements in the way of infantry over to this part of the battlefield here? Because maybe both sides realise, as I say, this could be pivotal or decisive, whoever wins here. Usually you see units starting to rout a bit quicker than this, but they're still fighting. There's infantry and cavalry, everything in there at the moment, I believe. I see a few of the Brutii units are starting to rout here, and one of the Julii units is starting to rout. I see the Brutii and Julii generals are pulling their cavalry back, looking to probably lock and load, ready to charge back in. That was a massive cavalry and infantry scrap here on this flank. You can see a lot of the SBQR cavalry are still fighting there at the moment. And you can see that the Brutio General, it looks like he's bringing his cavalry over to this flank, probably with a view to charge in to the rear or flank of the enemy troops. Just pause again for a second. As I say, you can see the Brutio cavalry over here, as I say, probably looking to smash into the flank or the rear of engaged enemy troops there. Okay, you can see the Brutio troops here under a lot of pressure from SBQR cavalry and infantry. His teammate Trajan has sent over some Julii units there to help. Meanwhile, over here on the right flank, you can see that the Julii units are fiercely engaged with those SBQR units here on the right flank. Okay, so there's a lot of aggression going on over here on the right flank. It'll be interesting to see who prevails over here. Numbers look reasonably quite equal, but over here you can see that Brutio cavalry charging in there. Bang! As that cavalry smashes in there, routing a lot of SBQR and Scipio units. There was a nice aggressive hit there by the Brutio General. Okay, you can see Scipio cavalry counter-attacking into the Julii engaged infantry there. As I say, this battle is totally different from the one we watched on Bank Holiday Monday. This is a slog, this is attritional. Unlike that one we watched Monday, which was tactical and strategic, this is just a slogging, attritional battle here. And you can see the big hits of cavalry, the big hits of infantry. See that Brutio cavalry probably going for the Scipio General, going in and bang, as it smashes straight into the Scipio units. Make no mistake, I bet he was going for that Scipio General there. Right, see the Scipio cavalry counter-attacking there. Bang, as they go back in, but the Brutio General's pulled his cavalry back already, so he doesn't take the impact of all that cavalry going in there. Okay, let's just pause again for a second, take a breath. Can you see Trajan's Julii General has been routed? Okay, so his general unit has now been routed, so of course that team, the green and red team, now have lost a general morale bonus there. They've still got their Brutio General left, but they have lost one of their generals. Okay, over here on the right flank, Trajan has been hammering those SBQR troops with his cavalry, hitting them, pulling back, hitting them, pulling back. So that's why you're starting to see several of those SBQR units starting to rout. Okay, remember, every time he charges in with that cavalry, he gets a full cavalry charge bonus against that standing engaged enemy infantry. Okay, then you can see here that Scipio cavalry is just charged in. The players on both teams here have used their cavalry so much, all they've got is a few battle damaged units left, but maybe, just maybe, that might make the difference. Right, see the SBQR cavalry going for the Brutio cavalry there. Now if his ally Scipio cavalry joins in as well, which I'm sure that Scipio General will see that and charge his cavalry in as well. Now Mad King's Brutio cavalry are going to be outnumbered here, and Mad King could lose all his Brutio cavalry here in this scrap against SBQR and Scipio cavalry. Okay. So it looks to me like he's so outnumbered here, his units are going to rout. Yep, I think that's exactly what's happening there. Okay, can you see meanwhile Trajan taking his cavalry into the rear of that SBQR General there, looking to take him out. Let's just pause again for a second. Okay, so all of Mad King's cavalry has now been routed. Okay, Mad King's cavalry has now been routed, and the SBQR and Scipio enemy cavalry there are ready to attack. As you can see here, Trajan charges Julii cavalry in to the rear of that SBQR General, trying to take him out. But as I say, you can see the Scipio and SBQR cavalry will outnumber the red and the green cavalry now. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens here. See that SBQR unit going in there and bang into the rear and flank of the Julii units there. You've got archers that have been alt-attacked being thrown in. Here's another Scipio cavalry unit going in and bang as he charges in there. As the Brutio General has just been taken out. Okay, so the Brutio General has just been killed there. So at this stage, and also the SBQR General has been routed as well. Okay, so but the Brutio and the Julii armies have got no general now to give morale bonus. Okay, Mad King's general has been routed, so the red and green have got no general morale bonus now, but the blue and the SBQR have still got the blue Scipio General left there, giving morale bonus to those troops. Okay, can you see more of those Brutio troops and Julii troops starting to rout there with that cavalry hit? Okay, let's just pause again there. That was a really massive cavalry hit there with battle damaged cavalry, but you can see now that the Brutii and Julii units are starting to rout at this stage of the battle. Okay, surely it's only going to be a matter of time now before most of those units are going to be taken out. As I say, there's a lot of, remember, the one team are the blue and the purple, and the other team are the green and the red. So just at a glance here, you can see what's actually happening. Meanwhile, over here on the other flank, you can see the SBQR and Julii troops here are fighting, as they have been all battle over on this flank here. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to prevail on that flank. But over here, it definitely looks at this stage that the blue Scipio troops and the purple SBQR troops are winning at this particular part of the battlefield. Okay, another Julii unit there has been sent into the fray. But as I say, with that that cavalry advantage that the Scipio troops have got now, this could prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle. Wouldn't surprise me if those Scipio troops went for that Julii cavalry. See that Scipio cavalry going for the Julii cavalry? If they can take that Julii cavalry out, they're going to have even more of an advantage, because of course the Julii and Bruttii won't have any cavalry after, and they've done it. Okay, so that is now all the Bruttii cavalry has been taken out, and all the Julii cavalry has now been taken out. Okay, so those Scipio units are battle damaged, but he's still got cavalry there that he can use around the battlefield to smash into the rear of tired or exhausted troops there. So not looking very good for the Julii and Bruttii team at the moment, losing all their cavalry. Okay, so meanwhile back here to the infantry slog, you can see here that SBQR general sending over units to attack that Julii unit that has just rallied. Right, see that Scipio cavalry charging in, and bang as it charges in there. Maybe it might have been better to take those Scipio units right round the rear and smash into tired engaged troops here. But he attacked that Julii unit there. Remember that Scipio general still giving morale to all the team, the SBQR team, and of course his own troops there. And as I say, remember that the Julii and Bruttii team have lost both their generals and all their cavalry. Okay, so there's no general morale bonus. I see that one Julii unit, general unit, has rallied, but whether the general's dead or not, I don't know. But it is a rallied unit, so its morale will be low. See that Scipio cavalry really pressing in there on those Julii units. They're really trying to take them out. Right, okay. So whether the general was dead or not, the two Julii units there have now been routed. Okay, so there's even if the general was there or not, it's routed. So as I say, the Bruttii and Julii are back to no general morale bonus at all. And remember that the Scipio general is still alive, giving morale bonus to the SBQR and Scipio troops. Make no mistake, this battle is going to go down to the wire here. Just look at the numbers here. Remember, the one team is the red and the green, and the other team are the purple and the blue here. And I'm just wondering whether that Scipio general still being alive is going to give it an advantage. But do you notice that the Scipio general is an eagle unit? Now remember, eagle units up against urban cohorts will lose. Okay, so that general, that Scipio general there, he's routed. Remember, if you use an eagle unit as your general, you need to keep it out of combat for as long as you can, because an urban cohort unit will beat him, even though he's got bigger numbers. And don't forget that Julii archer units there have been shooting fire arrows into the Scipii and SBQR army all the way through the battle here. Okay, so you can see here that Scipii cavalry still charging in there, still doing damage to the Julii team there. Okay, the Scipio general has actually now been killed. So don't forget, it's the red and the green against the blue and the purple here. Okay, so which way is this going to go? As you can see, like the other battle we watched on the Monday bank holiday bonus battle here, this battle is also going to go right down to the wire here. Okay, so you can see the last of the Scipio units has just been routed, so there's just one SBQR unit left there. I see there's a Scipio cavalry unit left there. Well, one man left in that unit, but I think all the Scipio infantry have now been routed there. Okay, now you can see, I think Mad King's Bruttii unit, I think that was the last of his infantry, has just been routed. Okay, so all of the Scipii army has now been routed, and all of the Bruttii army has now been routed, and it's just the purple SBQR army fighting the Julii army. See the Julii general there doing a tactical move with his infantry, even though those infantry are exhausted. He's taking those infantry around the rear of that engaged SBQR unit. Nice tactical move there to smash into the rear of that of that unit there. Even though his troops are exhausted, I think that SBQR unit has been battle damaged so much that I would think once that unit charges in there, that SBQR unit will probably rout. And there it goes, charging in there into the rear there. That's kind of a hammer and anvil attack there, with that unit around the rear charging in, and those other infantry as anvil. Okay, just like to show you here the intensity of the fighting here from one flank to the other. Okay, as we move up here from one flank, you just see the piles of dead. Now bearing in mind this is just a 2v2, this just goes to show how intense the fighting, how intense and vicious the fighting was here. Just piles and piles of dead all the way across here. It looks more like a 3v3 or a 4v4 here. Just goes to show how many of both of the teams' units here were killed. Okay, if we just look here, you can see how concentrated the area is, though, in comparison to that to that Bank Holiday Monday bonus battle we saw, which they fought over an enormous area of the battlefield. But here it was more intense, more, as we said, you can see 33 in that unit, 7 in that unit, 8, 10, and 12 there. Okay, this was a more attritional slogging battle than the one we saw on the Monday Bank Holiday battle. And as I say, you can see here that the Julii team and the Brutii team seem to be able to withstand the attrition better. Okay, can you see his victory there? But it would be a very close victory again, as the Bank Holiday victory was. Okay, very close there. I just like to say, really well done to Graben and Prince there. Very good kills there, nice aggressive attack there, some really nice big cavalry hits you guys are putting in there, and you took out the Brutii and Julii cavalry there, and I thought you were going to go on to win there with the cavalry that you had left. But also really well done to Brotherhood member Mad King, and well done to Brotherhood member Trajan. Some good kills. I see Trajan had the highest kills in the battle there. And as I say, it was attritional, and whichever team got the most kills, I think we're going to win there in an attritional battle there. So really well done to everybody in the game there. I hope you enjoyed watching this 2v2 tournament battle. This is Spartan Commander saying bye for now.